this video, I'm going to break down the exact framework that allows me to have time for everything without sacrificing the things I love, by cutting down the amount of time I take per task in half. And by the end of it, you will be able to do the same. As a high school student who is always doing something other than school, whether it's sports, gym, YouTube, business, one of the most important things to allow me to do this is getting stuff done fast. And really quickly before I get into this, I want you to understand it was not always like this. I mean, if you look back like 2 videos ago on my channel, this is exactly what I was talking about. I was struggling to get everything done. So if you feel like you're trying to juggle everything all at once or you're spreading yourself too thin, this video is for you. The first thing before you start any sort of work is you should have a good understanding of what it is that you're actually doing. So for me, I like Notion. It's a great tool, okay? What I do is I just write down on my tasks every single thing that I'm doing, ideally the night before today. It might change a little bit throughout the day, but the big idea I already have, right? So I have it down, just what I need to do, simple tasks, okay? And then what I do is I go to my Google Calendar and I know exactly when I put everything. I have the exact time spot of when I'm doing it. And listen, even if you have almost the exact same thing every day, this is even better, okay? It'll be easier to schedule it. Like you see for me, I have school, deep work, gym, but then after that within that, I'm putting which task I'm doing per thing. That really allows me to make sure I'm getting everything done without an exception, okay? But why? Okay, you gotta make sure that you know why you're doing each thing. Like you're not just doing it, and this is not like all manifestation and all of those stuff, but just like understand why you're doing everything and you'll do it faster. Okay, so say right now I'm filming so that I can upload this video for my channel. Definitely misspelled that, but the next part is to simplify everything, and I mean everything, okay? Like how Alex Hormozy says, like right now I was struggling a lot to like start setting up the camera and film and talk to you guys, but I'm downstairs and there's people walking by looking at me, okay? So what I did was I just broke it down, put the camera in the bag, walked down, set up my computer, I practiced a little bit, and I just pressed record and started talking. And this is what it would look like for your actual day. Okay, so say I have my calendar right here, and then within it, let's just focus on, say, deep work, job hunt, right? So I go down, and this is what one work session look like. Okay, so this looks like the same task, but I actually broke it down. Within that deep work, this is what it looks like. So I have 30 minutes of putting new companies on my spreadsheet, right? I'm currently looking for a sales job, and then finding and connecting people, right? And then scheduling to all of those people, finding out and reaching out to the companies, and just really break down every single thing within that work session. And bonus tip, just set a timer. When you actually set a timer and not just say, you get everything so much faster. So it might take you a little long, but just by the fact that you put a timer, like you understand first, you're gonna actually get all the things done. And when you work so much more efficiently when you put a timer. I cannot explain this. I'm sure there's some way to explain it like psychologically, but it works. This works for everything, by the way. So like I said, by now when I set for this video, that's kind of what I did subconsciously because I was struggling so much. But then in your mind, going to the gym, you just put your shoes on, leave the house, catch the bus, walk in, and then you lift. And this not only makes you more efficient when you do things, but it also makes it harder for you to avoid the things like I just mentioned. Right? So especially when you combine it with the next step, which is systemize everything. And I mean everything, okay? This is just an organized framework or method. But once you do this, you get into a so much better flow state. You get into a routine where you're just doing it. So for me, I just split every task and I do them each separately. So I do 30 minutes of just trying to find new companies, not looking at anything, just making sure I fit into the requirements, they fit into what I look like, and we're a match basically. And then after that, I do 30 minutes of looking into people within those companies and then trying to connect with them on LinkedIn, sending them emails, right? And then after that, I do 30 minutes of the next task, whatever that is. And that way it allows me, by the end of those 30 minutes of looking for new companies, ideally it would be even longer. Like if I do it for a whole hour, think of how good I'll be at looking for those companies. Like I know exactly how far to scroll down for every job application, exactly where the requirements are, because at the end of the day, it's all the same. And the same thing with the emails. I'm already like into the flow stuff, copying the templates, changing the names, and adapting it a little bit to the person to make it a little more customizable. But because I've been doing just that task for so long, it's just so much better at it. And like I said, this is how you get into a flow state and get distracted less. Like I wasn't even thinking when I'm doing that, I'm just executing. And that's ideally how you get done faster. So for me, it might just be doing one task at a time, but if you really want to take it for the next level, you would do just one task a day. So say today, I would just find new companies and try to put them on my spreadsheet, and then tomorrow I just reach out to those people. Because think about it, for a few hours just finding new companies, like the ratio of how many I find per hour is going to be more productive, and that's how you get it faster. And this sort of focus is what will make all the difference. That's what separates the top of the top who achieve extraordinary things from the rest. Because think about it, we all have the same 24 hours every single day, but there's just some people that are able to achieve so much more than we do. I mean, think of Elon Musk. He achieved so much, and he has the same 24 hours as us, right? He's established multi-million companies, even billion companies, with the same 24 hours as us. So why can't we do it if they do it? Right? He calls it demon time. Right? It's basically a period where he just focuses on work, no distractions, nothing else, just work, work, work. But the thing is, because he does it so much, he takes it to the extreme, then he sacrifices the people he loves, and he actually hurts them because of how focused he is on the work. Let me guess, you won't have the same benefits, but less sacrifice. Of course, who wouldn't, right? But real quick, just understand, let's imagine that X is the right spot. No distractions does not mean more focus. You already know you should remove your distractions, right? You know you shouldn't have your phone next to you when you're working. You know you should put your computer in work mode, right? You shouldn't work in a distractive environment, right, where there's people talking to you or have the TV on, right? That makes sense. But let me tell you what I started implementing for the last few weeks that actually made a difference. Okay, this is actually something that I heard a while ago and I did not think was going to work. But for me, it was so good. And when I tell you guys it made a difference, I mean it made a huge difference. At one point, I was working in my room and my mom was knocking on the door, and I couldn't even realize that she was there because I was just so locked in on the work. And it wasn't because the headphones were too loud, because they were super low. Okay, so this is exactly what I do. Okay, first thing in the morning, when I want to get my most important work done, I get in my room, I turn off all the lights, I lock the doors, I shut the curtains, and the only type of light that's coming is straight through the computer. Step 2, I put on my headphones and I put a specific playlist that's both binaural beats and brown noise at the same time combined, which is super good. So when I have those two things and my door locked, early in the morning, I get so much work done. Now, it doesn't have to be in the morning, but that's where I work best. Let me warn you, after you implement this, you will get work done much faster. I'm not concerned about that at all. You should be spending at least 80% of your time doing and only 20% researching and planning how to do. Because right now, you're basically researching how to do work better, how to be more efficient, which is good. You're being proactive. That's how you will get better eventually, because you're not just going to be complacent doing the same thing. But the thing is, now that you started doing it, I don't want you to continue. I want you to just get into your work, okay? So yeah, you should be planning your tasks ahead of time. You should be scheduling what you need to do on your Google Calendar. But you shouldn't take too long to do it. I would even put a timer for how much you do even that. Because it's very, very easy, I know from experience, to get sucked into like being efficient, but then you spend too much time on it that you don't get to do the work that you need to do. So just really make sure you avoid that, okay? So really, now it's just time to get work done. And if you are in that situation right now, I want you to understand that it's okay. You just need to take one step at a time. Personally, I struggle from this a lot. I used to procrastinate so much, and now I've gotten better. I actually made a short film about it recently, but the mindset that kind of helped me really change it, and I would highly suggest that you watch it if this sounds anything like you.